this blizzard right now. What are some key health risks during this, and what do you want the public to know? What are some symptoms that maybe you shouldn't ignore?
So the two biggest categories that I would say, number one is injuries that you can get from being outside in the snow. So slipping on ice or falling in the snow. The footing is very treacherous out there. So being very, very careful, especially on driveways and stairs. And then the other category I would say ill is pathology related to overexertion, especially if you are doing a lot of shoveling and you develop chest pain. That's a really, really common concern that people can end up with heart trouble because they are doing a lot more exertion than they normally would be doing in this kind of weather. That is absolutely something that should not be ignored. If you develop crushing chest pain or have difficulty breathing when you're shoveling snow or using your snowblower or otherwise exerting yourself, then that is something to call 911 about immediately. I would say to take it easy for right now and probably not start shoveling until tomorrow morning. I know people probably want to get on top of things and think it's going to be worse if they wait, but the conditions are so bad out there right now that I think the risks of being outside outweigh the benefits. Just stay indoors until the morning and tackle it when there's a fresh new day without the biting winds and blowing snow. It's very cold, and while it is not nearly as cold as it often is with a blizzard, it's still cold enough that if you're outside for long periods, the danger of hypothermia is very real, especially if you get wet. And the snow is very, very wet. So if you're out clearing snow and you get wet, you might not even realize how cold you're getting. Absolutely a risk for any house if the air vents get covered. So being aware of where your air vents are and making sure that they are uncovered is an important thing, but especially if you heat your home with wood or any other natural way of heating your home other than central air, then the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning is pretty high in a storm like this. And you need to make sure you have very good ventilation, even in the cold. I will say that when coming into work today, I saw, unfortunately, a lot of fire trucks and ambulances were stuck in the snow because everyone is getting stuck right now. But that doesn't mean that emergency services aren't working, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't call 911 if you think you're having a genuine health emergency. Obviously, they are out there and they are doing their job. And if you are having something like I mentioned, like crushing chest pain, or you slip and fall, or you can't breathe, or anything else that's really concerning, still call 911. You still can come in. We still want to see you. The most important thing is that you get the help that you need. Like I said, fortunately, it's warmer than a lot of blizzard conditions, but if you do lose power, just make sure you're bundling up well, pile up the blankets. Uh, be very careful of lighting a fire, though, again, because there is the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning, but make sure that you are still eating, drinking, and keeping warm just like you would ordinarily, and help your neighbors. It's my biggest thing. We're all in this together.